Welcome back to another episode of Sailing Learning by Doing with Vernon, Eli and me, Mary Morgan, aboard our floating house, Trade Runner. Last week, we showed you how we anchored in tight spots in a beautiful place on the coastline of Muna Island in the Button Strait. Next week, we will take you along in our explorations of this stunning area. But before that, this week, I am taking you back in time to catch up on our first month sailing in Sulawesi. In between Tanah Baru and Muna, we did some miles and saw various places. Back to Tanah Baru, the building Pinisi city. If Vernon had an amazing time filming the building sites, we also had few downtimes. We discovered that rainy season was over in Lombok, but not yet in Sulawesi. After the crossing, the ferry incident and the short night since we have Eli, some little tasks can turn like a real mission, like filling up diesel.
Right, my mission this morning is to go and find some diesel. We've had some great sails lately, but in between we have burned a few fossils, that's for sure. And this boat doesn't have massive tanks because it does sail so well, but it's not like we can stock up every 6 months, just a couple thousand litres and we're good to go. But I think my diesel tanks, it's 55 litres per engine, it's 110, and then I got a few jerry cans. We're going to go into more remote areas soon, so I want to stock up, at least, maybe not fill them up, but at least get 50-60 litres. But anyway, in Indonesia, that's not as easy as it is in Australia or other Western countries where you just pull into a marina and fill up from the bowser or whatever, but it always works out somehow. Sometimes I rent a bike and go and get it myself down the road somewhere, find a gas station. Sometimes they sell diesel, sometimes they don't. And sometimes I just ask locals to sort it out for me, and then they bring it in their jerry cans and I tip it into my jerry cans. I don't really like that option though, because sometimes, well, you don't know where that diesel's coming from when you get it from them. You don't have a lot of options sometimes, so I'm going to go and see how it is here.
So you went back and it was unsuccessful.
Unsuccessful mission for the diesel, mostly on my part. I think I'm just too tired, but I just got pissed off. They were looking at me like an alien. I know the words for ordering and buying and diesel and renting motorbike and jerry can. I know all this, I've done it a million times. But they were looking at me like I'm a freaking alien or from Mars. It's been a week now of basically moving every day and some stormy passages. We got hit by a ferry. Last night we woke up because a bloody fishing boat parked too close to us and ended up bumping into us as well in the middle of the night. And so I haven't had good sleeps for ages, and you never get a good sleep with this little terror anyway, like not a good sleep like we had before we had him. So I think I'm just a bit worn out and my patience is just non-existent, and so I just basically gave up and came back to the boat. But we do need diesel and we need to figure it out. We'll figure it out, but I need to get some energy back first. Can you give me some energy, baby? You've got way heaps of energy. Can you give me some? Just a little bit? Can I suck it out?
After a few days off to breathe and relax, we finally found a way to get diesel in the Pertamina, few miles away from our anchorage. We also observed the fishermen, which are our closest neighbor in general. There are so many different fishing techniques in Indonesia. Each place has its way. We were able to see these guys netting in the bay. When we felt all full of energy again, we finally pulled the anchor and headed to a group of small islands and reef in the south of Sulawesi. We had no infos about this place and were really not sure that we could anchor. and was hoping that it would be a nice stop before crossing the Bone Bay. On a calm sunny day, we had a lovely motor sailing to a tiny mountainous island called Burungloe. On the next day, we had a lovely wake up in this beautiful place. And few friendly villagers came to say hello to us. We decided to go on shore to visit, but after 10 meters on land, we were invited to a house, and soon the whole village, too curious of the visitors, came to see us. There were so many people in the house and even more outside. That was insane. We never had such a welcome. When we went back on the boat after having a coffee, lunch and biscuits, a group of young boys came and bring a lot of cakes to make us discover their specialties.
So some of the guys from the island just arrived out here in their little canoes, and they brought presents for us. They're so nice here, it's incredible. They fed us in their house for lunch, and then they came out here with cakes and bananas. Look at this. Thanks guys.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Woo. And look.
From Burungloe Island. Burungloe Island.
Yeah, Burungloe.
Yes. Sweet rice. Apa ini?
Name is
Kue
Kue Afang.
Afang. Ini
Rafis.
Rafis.
Yes.
Pandan.
Yes.
Yes.
Pandan.
Und ini
Onde.
onde. Oh. Und ini
Ini kue khas Bugis.
khas Bugis.
Yes.
Bugis.
Mentega.
Kue mentega.
Wow. You make?
Yes.
Yeah, it's so nice of these guys. This is the best place ever.
The kids also offered to come on land and go picking some fruits. Vern went by himself, as picking the fruits were including a hike in the jungle that it would have been hard to do with Eli. They climbed coconut trees and gave us the nicest green coconuts. That was awesome. We organized some getaway with the boat. During 3 days, we had the most intense socialization with visitors from morning till dark. We just left one of the more crazy places with the nicest person ever, and this is all the gift we had from them. And sadly, it was so overwhelming of nice attention that we had to leave for this reason. So it's only what is left over. We already ate quite a lot, but we had for the travel some nasi kuning, which is a rice with some turmeric and coconut milk, some noodles, some fritters of little fish, some biscuit. This one are the special one because we were with boogies, so that's the boogies biscuits. We had they call onde. They are like the rice balls with sugar inside. We had fish. We had rambutan, and I don't remember the name of this fruit, but that's a local one. We had bananas to eat with black rice, which is sweet too. We had some pandan, kue, and a cabbage, and some medicines and a ring. So yeah, that was crazy.
So this island Burungloe, we just, saw on the maps that it looked like a place to anchor for the night. So we went up there, didn't really know what to expect. Actually on the maps, because they're sort of 2D, it just looked like a flat island with a couple of little villages. And in the distance you could see this big hump of an island. I'm like, oh, that must be it. I'm going on 6 years now sailing around different parts of Indonesia, so I've been to some friendly places, but this was just next level.
They welcome us.
The welcome, there was just kids arriving in canoes and just coming, and we were like, oh my golly. And they took us straight to a mooring buoy, which was a really good one, and it was crazy. But
And each person was coming with a gift.
yeah, so they were all, we're still trying to get over it because it was really overwhelming for us. I think if we hadn't have had Eli, if this had been 2 years ago or whatever, last time we were here, it would have been different. But because we had Eli, and obviously he's small, and all of them want to hold him and pinch his leg and all of that, which is cool, but he gets over it pretty quick, especially when he's tired. So he starts crying, and they all want to hold him and walk off and do selfies with him. And then he starts crying, and then he wants a milk, and then after that he wants to sleep. But we've got 20 people on the boat running around, jumping around, all looking through the window, watching Maria when she's breastfeeding, all this. And if they weren't so nice, it would have been easy to tell them all, just bugger off, get off the boat. Like, it's too much now. But they were all so nice. They all brought these gifts, and they were all like, yeah, oh, shh, baby's sleeping, baby's sleeping. But when there's 20 people going, shh, and then one kid would yell, and all of them would be like, stop yelling, which would just make it all louder. And then they'd walk slowly, but then, I don't know, kids, and there was a lot of adults coming as well. But they seem to forget after about 20 seconds it's supposed to be quiet, so then they all start jumping around again. And it seemed like sunset was the time when they would actually do stuff. So we'd have all day some people, and then by about 5, we'd be like, we want to get our clothes off, get in the water, cool down, calm down. It's the end of the day now. And that's when they would all start arriving for serious. So there would be like 30 people on the boat, and just canoes coming and coming and coming. And you successfully tell people like, no, that's it now, stop. And like 3 canoes full of people would leave. And as you're waving goodbye to them, because they're all bloody nice people, and you actually want to talk to them, but not right at that moment. And then while you're waving goodbye to them, on the other side of the boat, another 20 people have sneaked on board. And the thing was, we weren't worried about dishonesty, or like they were so nice. They like would use my goggles, go swimming, come back, show me that they'd brought the stuff back, and they were super, the nicest people we've ever met. But
and
too
really
nice.
Super careful of every of the stuff.
Yeah.
Really super respectful of the whole space. Like we had nothing to say. It was individually, they were all awesome.
Yeah, so nice.
It was just
but
the
50
group
of them,
effect.
And we made friends with about 4 or 5 of them, and they were really concerned for us. They were trying to get people to leave, and like, it's too much, come on. But everyone else was like, no, what do you know, bugger? But and I told one of them, who was a nurse, that I've got a blocked ear at the moment, and then she sent kids out with these antibiotic medicines for me, and like, just amazing. And this is exactly what we come to Indonesia for, but just not all at once. It was just too much.
The thing is, with a baby, like for me it's a bit different. Like we are not the more used to have like people. We are living a bit like secluded with the baby now, and before just the 2 of us on the boat, and suddenly you have like a lot of people that you don't really know coming in your space. It's already like taking, but I don't know, it's like kind of a mother instinct that it was like, I need to protect my baby, even if I know they're gonna not harm or anything, but just like, is that it's your home and you have like many people that you don't know around, and you can see the new baby having trouble to sleep and things, and it's a bit like a tension non-stop. So the whole day was a bit like, everything is going well, but I'm feeling tense.
3 days.
The other thing is privacy and intimacy. It's not really something of their culture. So they're gonna come in, and you are like breastfeeding in a place or doing, and they are coming and watching, and it's not like because like they are pervert or anything. It's just they are curious of what we are doing, but they are not thinking that it could be a bit like disturbing to have someone watching you doing things. And so there are the windows just watching, and you feel a bit like in a zoo.
We were sort of like, if they would just come out in groups of 5 every now and again, and we'd stay a week, and then we'd still end up seeing everyone, or everyone end up seeing us and Eli, but just not all at once. We couldn't handle it after 3 days. We were like, we just were like, see you later. And they were all way, like, they were super.
And it was a bit
nice
heartbreaking for us too, because like they were really like so cool people.
They were just really curious about the boat. All the men wanted to know everything about, like, sucking their breath about an autopilot when I would turn it on and all this. And they're all just fishermen. There's no gardening on this island. It's just fishing. But they're very, they've got simple boats. Anyway. All right, well, we'll get on to the next part of the video.
We stayed on a reef far from land and people, at few miles of Burung Lowe, and enjoyed the peace and calm again. Simple life, preparing fish, enjoying the silence and loneliness. It It is so funny how we can change our life just by dropping the anchor somewhere else and change the whole landscape, the whole vibe, and forget completely that we are actually only a few miles away of what we saw before. But it looks like a new world. Probably one of the most appreciable things about being nomad. Being able to experience so many different ways of living, changing of routines every few days depending on the location. What to say about the start of our journey in Sulawesi and what we learned from. Sulawesi is nothing similar of what we experimented the last 3 years in Indonesia. If it is way more populated than what we were expecting, and probably less remote, we felt way more out of the place than ever. Westerner tourism is almost inexistent here, and the clash of cultures is a lot more visible. It is clearly to experiment these kind of things that we are traveling, but it can suck a lot of our energy sometimes, especially when you are traveling with a young kid. We don't really know what to expect for the rest of our travel in Sulawesi, but it is what is exciting. Indonesia never stopped to surprise us. It is now time to thank you for watching this episode. If you appreciate it, don't hesitate to tell us in the comments or to share this episode with your friends. A huge thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon and PayPal who are making the video production possible. If you consider to give us a little financial support, you can find the link in our description. If you don't want to miss any of our episodes, you can subscribe to the channel Sailing Learning by Doing and push the ring bell. See you next week for another patchwork video of our sailing travel in Sulawesi. Have a beautiful week and again, thanks for watching.